Hello. Hello, my sweet chicken nuggets. Happy Easter. Happy. So, what are we going to talk about today? The Four of Diamonds. But yesterday was freaking crazy. Was it crazy for you? I was trying to puzzle out what yesterday was, and I don't really drink very often, but that whole day was just waiting for me to get to some beer that evening because once I did, everything came into focus when I could not stop laughing. It was so awesome. Okay, so there's just a couple of things I want to say about yesterday in terms of the gifts that they offered today. So that's kind of my little practice when I think of it. What is the gift from yesterday that I can bring into today? Because it just really, like, I wasn't like thinking of some formula. It just kind of was logical. One of those things that just presented itself. So, first of all, I just want to call in the angels of Easter blessings. It's a special day. I'm not terribly that into holidays anymore, but there was just something about today that felt kind of blessed by angels. And, maybe it's that there's a global consciousness of celebrating the rebirth of spring. And we've been through so much as a planet. And now here we are, kind of really at the beginning of the new year. And I had an interesting thought. I'm not going to go messing with the Gregorian calendar, so don't worry. It's just like way too daunting. I had my sister throw tarot cards on it. Should I mess with the calendar? She's like, no, a lot of pain and suffering there. But what I want to say is that isn't it interesting that April Fool's Day is April 1st? And it's the 0 card in the tarot. So what if the beginning of the year should be April 2nd? Because this all exploded for me on April 2nd. And I've been hearing so many things in the pipelines, just as far as like channelings and like where are we at energetically on the planet, and everything fits into line with this ascension line is giving us the whole picture, the other half of the picture. So I just want to point out some things from yesterday, the 5 of Diamonds. So I noticed that there was this really testy energy in the air, and it could be because of the wind that we've been having. It's like a Scirocco or too many positive ions or whatever you want to say, but nobody wants to be out in it. I mean, people are getting along. There's just a joy in interacting out in public, but there's this testiness, And I noticed that my partner and I were kind of telling each other, you're doing it wrong. That theme just kind of kept coming up through the day. You're doing it wrong. And I was like, that's the 7 of Spades talking. So where is that in relationship to the 5 of Diamonds? Well, it shows up in several different places. It's Jupiter in their dissension hand, which means a switching from focusing on obstacles to focusing on faith. And they do have a lot of difficulties happen to them throughout their lives, especially in terms of romantic relationships. So that Jupiter 7 of Spades is like they do have a very overcoming faith. Okay, and in the Ascension hand with the magic circle, it is their Mars card. So 5 of Diamonds right here goes Mercury, Venus, Mars, 7 of Spades. If you go clockwise, I think it's Ascension. And yesterday I got very confused about that. It was very frustrating, and I just did not know how to let go. But anyway, finally I got to band practice, and we had 7 songs to prepare for Easter, and we usually have 3, and it's just a lot. It's a lot to pull together that much music. And I had a solo, and during my solo practice rehearsal, I got very testy with my 6 of clubs, very kind, the music director of the whole thing. And I was really on the fence about that. I felt really good that I finally kind of burst forward with what I thought was important. I started taking charge of things. I was like, the sound guy, I just don't know if he's really getting it here. So and it's not my personality to just like step in and manage and control the show and take care of things, but I just had this feeling like things are out of alignment physically and I can bring them back in. So that task was the 7 of spades. It was like, let's bring correction to this. But it also created this, a 7 is, especially in Mars, it can just be like, snapping at you and just being like, it's not quite right. We need an adjustment here, like spade women. Spade women have this 7 of spades in their descension hand. So where are you, honey? Okay. Mercury, Venus, Mars. So there it's setting. It would be Ascension Jack of Diamonds, and they really do. Jack of Diamonds are much more prone to focus on the possibilities and the faith and like everything's going to work out. They're optimists. But that Queen of Spades can have that just like snap at you, testy energy if it's out of alignment with the best way to do things. So that popped out yesterday. Anyway, the 5 of Diamonds is just ultimately just roll with the music. And this morning we had a 5 of Diamonds singer-songwriter sing her song. And there's a phrase in there, can you just roll with the music? And I was like, oh, that's perfect. Just so anyway, now we're going to get back to today, the 4 of Diamonds. So the gift from yesterday that I got is clarity about what's important to me. And that's what the 4 of Diamonds is. The 5 is a seeking, restless, what should be important to me, what should matter. It's a moving, seeking energy. And that 7 of spades in Mars, I think, may have helped us to solidify some things, not to mention the King of Diamonds in Venus. And I was in the context largely of women, and I was very clear about being a king in my kingdom. When this is my song, this is how fast it's going to go. Stop, rehearse. We need to go at this part again. I mean, I just like turned into like, who is this? But very directive and clear, which is really great because then today we can be a little more soft about our clarity and what's important to us and what we want. So the 4 of Diamonds, if we're talking and this is just kind of my thing lately. I'm doing the magic circle and I'm looking at the hands this way. It's a totally novel way to do it. And when the clock is turning clockwise, I'm considering that ascension. And when it's turning to the left, it's descension or backing up and the work you have to do to work on yourself versus going to the right is more like when you've got all your ducks in a row and these are your gifts and talents and you're giving to the world. One is about repair, one is about like functionality in the world. So the moon, and I'm getting more and more clarity on that as I go. So the 5 of spades, and if you would like to tell me what your card is, I can make this a little more relevant for you personally based on your birthday. If we have the 5 of spades in our moon position, what does that mean? And I just realized this is another reason I am very tight with 4 of diamonds in my life. Because, and Liara, that's you in England. If you watch this later, hello. Let's see, it's like 10 p.m. there by now. But anyway, I have 5 of spades in my life hand as my backup moon here. So we both have that as a cushion to lean on. And what does that mean? It's presence, always coming back to presence. It's a beautiful, wonderful, how can we access that? There are all different kinds of ways we get pulled out and we're not present. We get distracted with the mind or I was going to say physical pain, but that really gets us into the present. But it's usually mind, into the future, into the past, perseverating. Just all the programming and stuff. The best way to get present is to just feel your body. Being in nature is really good because, get away from the Wi-Fi because that's a constant pulling out of just be in your experience. The 5 of spades is experience. Be in your sensory experience today. In fact, I even said to my husband when I got back from church, after the big performance and everything, it's like, okay, how do I manage my energy and just come back down? And I said, I just really need to do something that gets me back in my body. I was going to take a bath, but I didn't do that. So that's our backup today. Breathe, feel, and when you are this safe space for yourself and you're kind of leaning back from your interactions with people, you're much less likely to feel the need to feel something about what they're saying or change their mind, or if you disagree with them, is that going to be stressful, or are they being codependent with me right now? It's like you can just kind of sit back and be in your safe container of you and just watch kind of what's going on in front of you, and you can stay present to yourself because that's really your only job. That's your biggest responsibility. Okay, so with that in our hip pocket, we have a 5 on the other side. So this is a very interesting section of the journey. I'll show you. We'll just go to this, but the magic circle is the order of displacement and environment cards, right? So every year you're jumping, and Robert Camp has done us given us a bit of a Rosetta Stone, hasn't he? By saying, what does it mean when you're displacing the 8 of diamonds? That's the pinnacle year. When you're displacing the 10 of diamonds, the most blessed year. When you're displacing those, so the cards in between on getting to that. Okay, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, but you have a Destiny Cards book, just flip it open to anybody's year and look down the column of displacement and you'll see all those cards. This is the order that they're going in. And one of the wheels is going this way and the other wheel is going this way. Environment's going this way, displacement's going this way. And they start out at the same place at birth, and then they come all the way back around at 45. And somewhere in there, they will be displacing the 8 of diamonds. But before they get there, they start at the 10 of clubs. He calls this the ascent to the pinnacle. Get my pointer. Ascent to the pinnacle. And then you displace the Jack of spades and the 7 of clubs. And then 3 years later, you displace the 8 of diamonds. And then the Queen of spades and then the 10 of diamonds. So this, 6-year period or whatever is usually very powerful and potent in a person's life. They're moving toward this kind of penultimate moment. Well, and I've seen that these Jack of spades and 7 of spades, 7 of clubs, is like a raking through your consciousness to get you clear about, to get you kind of cleaned up to go visit the king, the internal king or the heavenly king. That 8 of diamonds is I'm the king. And if you are not very, very clear about what your values are, what you won't tolerate, what you're unwilling to entertain, and this, that kind of solid power of an 8, that conviction of values. If you're not clear about that, that's the work you get to do that year. So I wouldn't call it the pinnacle year. I would call it look at the big picture and get some clarity about your life and what really matters to you. Okay, so every single one of these has a story to tell, right? And the progression. So if you are displacing the 5 of spades, 4 of diamonds, 5 of hearts, 5 of clubs, 4 of clubs, I just said 5, 4, 5, 5, 4. So that period of time, that 5-year period, is going to be shifting back and forth between the 4 and the 5. And we know that in life, and this is one of those esoteric teachings, you just look at life, there's a relationship between stability and the need for variety or change. Stability, change, stability, change. And so this is very likely going to be a period in your life where you're really working on getting clear about your foundation and your home, where you want to be, where you want to go, and then finally settling into something. And then the 6 of hearts is the conclusion of that, which is like, I'm in my right place. Here's my karmic agreement, or maybe if you go the other way and you ascend through all that change, you come to the 10, which is, this is my tribe. Now I'm with my family. So, every one of those, just look at your own life to get a sense of what's the story of the last couple of years for me. Okay, so little teachings on the cards that we're dropping. Since I don't have anyone viewing today, and I'm really glad because that means you're doing your thing. You're celebrating Easter. You're with family. You're whatever, and that's so beautiful. So when you come back to this and you go, okay, how was yesterday or this evening? How was that a Four of Diamonds day for me? Well, that presence was the first card. Were you able to stay present, or did that Five of Spades express through your mouth? And were you like, like I usually am, because that's my Mercury card descending. Okay, then we have the Five of Hearts in the moon position or Mercury, which is the ability to be very clear about what I want. The statement is, this is what I want. And since it's in the giving direction, our language can be about really meeting an emotional need for someone else. Our words really dropping into that place where you go, oh, that felt so good. I needed that. And all before, during, and after church, I was watching that happen. People just dropping these little gems into each other's hearts that were evoking tears, that were just such a gift. And even at the very end, getting a text from one of that Five of Diamonds singer songwriter telling me how much my harmony to her song meant and how much my song meant to her. And it was just, oh. So speaking words of blessing to that Five of Hearts inner child that is wanting something. And there's a sense of it tasting good. The Five of Clubs in Venus means asking other people questions, being genuinely curious. Tell me about yourself. I'm curious about you. And that's kind of what the fives are. They're very social, very connecting, really, to other people in a way that's genuine. Like those people who actually want to know the details of a particular story or something. So it's a seeking energy in the context of love and friendship and relationship. And it may also be, a change of mind or a bigger perspective. I definitely kind of cranked my perspective way open while I was sitting in church there and, agreeing with this or disagreeing with that or whatever. And yet just like open, 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 open. God is here. God is here. That's kind of more of a 9 energy, which happens to be the Neptune. Perfect. There is infinite value here. Everywhere I look, I see value, and there's a spiritual connectedness download with that. Okay, let's do Mars and Jupiter, and then I'm just going to close it down. So the Mars today ascension would be 4 of Clubs, and that is, I'm really clear about what I think, and my passion is to bring that kind of clarity to someone else, to help them find clarity. And the Jupiter 6 of Hearts, that's the sweetness of the connection, the friendship, this, wow, this is really meant to be, this connectedness with somebody else. And it's a 6 is a very balancing, that's another one of those cards that we have such a big neon sign over it, karmic relationship, that I haven't really asked, what does that really mean? What is this card? Let's get more curious about that. I do know that these people are incredibly good at loving and caring for others. There's a very natural attentiveness that comes with this card. And okay, the upstairs view is all these hearts, surrounded by all of these hearts. Yeah, if you look at this, and this is going to be another study that I do at some point, but the pure, I like how Dr. Sue uses that, the pure spread, and really looking at yourself ensconced within all the cards around you that are in order, 5 of Hearts, 4 of Hearts, etc. Okay, so a sweetness to our connection and our words, and the Saturn, 3 of Diamonds. That's the challenge, to be non-judgmental about other people's values. Just they're taking care of them, you take care of you. I can see how this is very much kind of in contrast with the typical Four of Diamonds path, I can see them working with these two different energies. And skillful, caring engagement with other people kind of seems to be okay, holding on to myself and stepping in and speaking, connecting, at the right time with the right person versus maybe a battle that a lot of Four of Diamonds have is I feel like I'm just not really that special, or I'm not enough, or I don't quite have enough, or I have to work really hard for what I have. And the opposite is, the truth of them is that there is this comfort and stability and clarity that they can help give other people about where they're at. Like the gift of the Four of Diamonds is being very clear about what matters to you. And doesn't so much of our lostness happen because we don't know what we want. We're not clear. And even the four, the Enneagram 4 type, they're kind of ruled by emotion, but they very often don't know what they're feeling. So I guess that's it for today. Jackie, thank you for watching. My first comment right as I'm about to sign off. So anyway, happy Easter, you guys. And tomorrow I'm going to teach my intro class. It's come one, come all. It's donation only. And I'm just going to start from the ground up with the cards and I'm not really good at this, but trying to simplify everything like I'm talking to kindergartners. And I'm really expecting you guys to hold me accountable, whoever watches. No question is dumb. Not a single one, because this is a very obscure system, and I've been studying it for over 25 years. The replay is a little bit about yesterday. Very dynamic day yesterday, and what was the gift of yesterday that kind of helped you navigate today? Today, like yesterday was like, ooh, and today was like, oh, a little smoother. Anyway, have a really great day, you guys, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Go in my community, go to my tab and hit community, and you'll see a little card that I made, a post I made about what time the class is. I think it's 1 p.m. Mountain tomorrow, but I'll check and make sure. I'll go live. Okay. Oh, Rion too. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, I'll go check out Rion. Okay. Love you, Liara. You're the Four of Diamonds, so you might find this interesting. And that's today. Okay, bye.